Where does the first question come from?
The first
Mr.
one is
Nuts?
coming from Tutis, and he is intrigued. What are our thoughts on Nick Calates and Bruno Fernando signings? Would you see Cam Reddish as a realistic option for Partizan? That was an unexpected bonus question. Hey, but Cam Reddish, okay. But let's start breaking down the question from the first one. So Nick Calates is not official yet. It's getting closer. It's super close. Both sides are close to reaching an agreement. Initially, there was this discussion whether Nick Calates would join Partizan until Karlik Jones recovers or until the season. That's what they basically did with Donatas Motiejunas, sending him to Zvezda on a loan for 3 months. But from what I heard, maybe something has changed. There is a high chance that Nick Calates will stay until the end of the season. But anyways, Bruno Fernando is official, 2-year deal, if I remember well. So what are your thoughts on these signings? And as we raised this question with Zvezda that, Jared Butler makes them a playoff team, what do you think if Nick Calates and Bruno Fernando signings actually make them the playoff team?
I think the signings let them float where they are or a bit above because I don't think these are the game-changing signings, in my opinion. These are the signings to fix a dire situation where you have lost your main point guard and where you're lacking bigs from the start of the season. And in terms of Bruno Fernando, that's the first guy I'm going to talk about because he's official.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good signing in terms of what they needed. They needed a little bit of size. He's a big guy. He's physical. He's getting the rebounds. He's scoring inside. Of course, the thing is with this guy, he hasn't been able to show that he does these things. I'm talking about all this theory, what his strengths are, but we haven't seen him play a lot, especially since he was in the Real Madrid. Of course, in the NBA also, he never had a big role, but in terms of his skill set, what he brings is exactly what Partizan needed. Maybe Augustus, you want to take it over and talk about the point guard in Nick Calates. We all know what Nick Calates brings to you as a playmaker, one of the best passers probably in the EuroLeague history. But
do you like the signing?
I mean,
just
what
yes
were
or
the
no?
options is the real question. Like, what were the options?
Let's say if it's my plan C, then maybe it's fine. I don't look at him as a complete replacement. I actually hope, I don't know, I don't have any information, but I hope that they still have some money to make another guard signing. But maybe the way I understand the signing, I think that Nick can add something that Partizan was lacking of, like clear point guard, first of all, more basketball IQ, the guy who can control the pace better. And I think that they needed that in limited minutes. They don't need him, to dominate the floor. So from this standpoint,
but also a bigger role than he has had in the last 2 years, probably. Because
in Monaco, his role was like...
Even in Fener,
there was no role.
Reduced.
In Fener, he had a huge role, actually.
Well,
he was the reason why they made the Final Four, basically.
Yeah.
In the first half of the season or the second half?
Entire season.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not how I remember. Well, maybe I
He played limited minutes, and especially under the Tudis, but when Sharas took over in December, he was actually the main reason why they made the Final Four, stopping
you're
Mike
right.
James.
Yeah, stopping Mike James, making those 2 3-pointers, just huge impact throughout the series.
And you can see the pattern. Sharas, Željko. Kind of similar type of
It's not the
coaches.
first time. I mean, having Nick, you need to know how to utilize him. It's not like he fits in any kind of system because, you need to hide his certain weaknesses. For example, that he doesn't shoot. I think Željko will do that well. But just talking in terms of how he fits Partizan, I think they needed offensive and defensive IQ. They needed some size at that position because a lot of teams attacked Karlik Jones. And it's not as easy to do with Nick Calates, given that he is in a good physical shape. I mean, you don't really know that really at this moment. But they have a lot of players to hide on the defensive end, especially now that Jabari, has been in Partizan. Their defense on the off-ball situations, on closeout situations are just ridiculously bad. And we always thought, they have huge size, they will be a good defensive team, but their defensive positioning and IQ, I think, prevents them from being, at least an average defensive team. Nick brings that. He brings great defense. He brings the ability to switch more and to do that, with a high efficiency. That Partizan were not able to do that with Kurlik Jones. So he just brings a different profile. And I hope he's in a good physical shape to actually showcase those things.
Good you mentioned defensive side because they have the second worst defensive rating in the EuroLeague according to Hackestack. But since I understand Nick signing and what he adds to the game, at the same time, I cannot clearly understand Bruno Fernando signing then, because we mentioned those problems with their defensive habits, team defense, defensive IQ as well. And so far, what Bruno Fernando displayed in his limited opportunities in Madrid, it seems like that it's one of his main drawbacks of his game. Reading situations, reading team defense situations, lack of skill offensively, just to be more of an athletic, big body on the floor. So that was a bit confusing part. I get it that you need a backup to Tyreek Jones.
You needed someone.
You just need bodies. But at the same time, he reminds me a bit too much of Tyreek Jones, actually. And I'm just not sure about this move. Unless, of course, they didn't have any options on the market.
That's where it comes down to, like, what were the options, both in the case of Nicolatis and Bruno Fernando. Because obviously these are not, like I said, not the game changers. But, like I said, to float where you are right now or a bit above. Because the situation was really bad.
I think they're bringing someone else, right? I mean, they were interested in campaign or those were not true. So if they were interested in campaign, I think they might be looking for someone else. Now you have basically at the point guard spot just Nick
and Dwayne Washington.
Dwayne Washington is not really a point guard,
but in Željko's system, there have been a lot of guys who are not actual point guards, like Dante Exum, for instance.
But he's
even PJ Dozier. I mean, Željko made him a point guard.
Both of those are different type of guys than Dwayne Washington. So it's really hard to make a scorer play point guard position. Like you get something in scoring wise, but it's just, I don't know how long you can play with this. So I think seeing at the injury situation, especially for Kurlik and Shake Milton, Partizan just said it's enough. We need to sign someone now and then to look for maybe a potential addition to the roster. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong with this.
In terms of Bruno Fernando, the only thing I can think of logically, when we said they needed bodies, but also the rebounding for the last 3 or 4 years, however long Partizan has been back in the EuroLeague, they've been in the bottom of rebounding. And this year is not anything different. They're 18th out of 20 teams. And I feel like that's maybe one thing that he can provide is rebounding because he positions well. He's a big body, like we said, physical. And same with Nicolatis. He's one of isn't he the only guy who got the triple-double? Not the only one, but one of the few.
Yeah.
So another guy who also constantly gets you filled the stat sheet in every category, especially the assists. And I think as well, what we haven't mentioned is the veteran leadership. He's 36 years old. He's seen it all. Željko is the type of coach who probably will be like, oh, nice to have someone who you don't need to say 5 times these details. And he's just going to get it because he's been through everything really in the EuroLeague. And I feel like that's where for Željko it will be nice to have a playmaker he can trust really. Just the limitations we already talked about.
Well, with Bruno, he's actually the guy that he will need a lot of guidance from Željko. Which might be good for the player. And I mean, Željko also has a good track record of some big athletic, strong centers on his team, especially in the Partizan. I mean, Matthias Lazort is a fresh example. So who knows? Maybe Bruno will also be beneficial in Željko's system. But I guess we can all come to conclusion that until they made this final signing, they add this final piece to the puzzle with the Cameron Payne or whatever they're targeting. We cannot clearly evaluate if it's changing their situation too much or not.
Or they just need to wait until Kurlik Jones comes back, and then the situation is different again. It's just about whether you're gonna buy in to get someone else now to, let's imagine Kurlik Jones. When does he come back? January, something like that?
January, something like that.
It's not that many games until January.
February.
Oh,
lot
okay.
of
If
games.
it's February, it's different. I thought it's the
Yeah.
beginning of January.
Basically half of the season.
Okay,
so-
if that's the case, then they definitely need to sign someone. I thought maybe if he comes back in a month,
But even
and a half,
if he returns in January, we're talking about one half of the season already wrapped up.
yeah.
So it's a bit tricky.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like
in
they're
war.
they're in emergency situation. It's not like they're so horrible or far from the playing contention, but
I mean, right
this-
now the records don't really matter. Like it's more
Yeah.
about yeah. But I agree that they need to sign someone, and that someone needs to be more of a Carlik Jones type than let's say a Nikolatis, another defensive and playmaking oriented. I think they need someone who can score. So I don't know if there's many available. That's the only question.
And now we actually have two fresh faces for the fantasy game and for the fantasy players. How would you?
I mean, Bruno was in the league and
Yeah,
Nick
but-
was in the league. They just didn't have any
Nick
roles.
didn't play a single game in the
Yeah,
Euro
yeah,
League,
yeah.
while Bruno had some appearances,
Yeah.
but you cannot. He was theoretically on the court. How would you rate their prices? What prices would you put them?
Guess? Or
I think I revealed their prices before the podcast.
You said 900 about
for
someone.
Nick because
Oh,
it was a
okay,
default
okay.
price for the season.
Oh, okay.
And Bruno?
I have no idea, but I saw his
800.
stats was like 4 points or something,
Yeah.
or maybe less. So,
So it was around
I'd go
750.
okay, I would go 500.
Yeah. But if you put him in, if you put them
Oh,
both,
now what's gonna
Yeah.
happen? Okay,
what do you think? What would be their real price?
Bruno now 800,000.
I like your confidence, like just increasing the price by 50.
Yeah,
Oh, Bruno now 800.
I'm not increasing. I'm not sure he's.
I mean that's about 8 efficiency points, right? Something like that. And with Nick,
I would say that.
With Nick, I'd expect him to go to like 1 to 1.2 million range. What do you
Oh,
think?
that's
Is that
I don't know. I want to
optimistic,
see.
no?
I don't know. He hasn't played.
He's gonna play a lot of time though. I feel like.
Is he?
I don't know really.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
We don't
maybe.
really know what shape he's in. So
You don't know if he's gonna sign. Well,
well, we should start from that. I'm staying. 900 seems like a fair price for Nick
What
at
was
the moment.
What was crazy that our guys put 900 on Jared Butler. I
Okay.
think that's a complete steal.
I think for sure.
I'm not sure. To start, it's fantasy. Like to put up efficiency points, you need to be efficient.
So you think
you're
he might be
coming-
not very efficient on the box score, right?
Yeah,
Or
no,
just not in the
no.
first game.
Because
No,
we just
it's
presented the guy as being the potentially the next EuroLeague superstar. So 900
Yeah,
to me
but
is
Potential is potential.
disrespect.
You know?
But
Gotta
no,
show it.
but he's a EuroLeague rookie, and there's Cody Miller and Jordan Nwora playing out of their minds, and he's definitely not going to play 30 minutes. I think in the first game. So for the first game, it's actually I think it's a fair price, maybe $1 million, but as you go on later, I think his price will definitely increase very fast.
Anyways, we gave you some good tips for November and good news that's on our BasketNews Fantasy. You can basically start everything over. If you sucked in the first month of the EuroLeague season, or if you didn't
just
even
missed out,
start,
yeah.
exactly like I did, we created something like November's League. We're going to do it monthly. There's going to be a monthly leaderboard. You can create your team on a budget mode and compete only in November games. The whole November window starts on November 5th.
And I think you only compete against guys who joined in November, right?
Exactly.
Who created their team in November, not all the other guys.
Or those who played from the start, whether they were successful or not, they can also create their new team
a new
for
team, yeah.
November. And the good news is that there's a €300 prize pool for the first place. The condition, you have to be active BN Plus member during November. So make sure to subscribe to BN Plus on basketnews.com/plus. So
Can I do that?
sure.
if you're an active BM Plus
Easily.
member.
But can I win the prize too?
And with our expertise, with our inside info, I mean, we would have some
know.
Yeah,
nice chances, I guess.
I sucked in fantasy to start the season. Ain't gonna lie, worst start in years.
Okay.
So I gotta bounce back. I gotta go for this challenge. I think.
I don't know if you guys remember our draft, but I'm just ahead by 300 points without changing anything. So
I don't know.
I
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I just remember I have like at least three guys injured.
I don't even know my team.
The
bro.
thing is, my starting lineup has both Chima Moneke, Vezenkov, and Clyburn, who were all balling like crazy.
And I think you got Vasa Misic, right?
No, it wasn't
Somebody
me. Someone else.
picked Vasa.
But anyways,
Whatever.
BM Plus member is a good thing to have, not only because of fantasy, but also because you can ask questions, and we're gonna keep answering those in the second part of this Q&A session, which is only available to those who are subscribed to us at basketnews.com/plus. So if you haven't done so already, go and become a BM Plus member, join our Discord community, read ad-free articles, also read exclusive articles on our website, basketnews.com. The referee advising column by Todd Warnick, where we break down the most controversial calls. All that is available to all BM Plus members. And now we're going to go to the second question, which is...